Well, welcome back, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight, bloggers, blogger panelists, and those that love fine wine. We are coming to you live here on TasteLive.com. I am Nick Solga, sommelier with Taste Live. I am with Marcio Ramirez, winemaker of the beautiful wines you have in front of you today. Italo Joffre from Conchitoro, wine ambassador.
Hello.
And we're going to be tasting through a Carmenere now. We're going to be traveling south by the glass to Chile, a little over 5,000 miles. And we're going to be enjoying the wines of Gran Reserva, Sergio Ribeiras. And these wines are all estate wines that are single vineyard wines located near a major river in Chile that helps sort of create its own personality and terroir. So with that said, Marcio, Carmenere originally came from France, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, the Carmenere is a Bordeaux area.
Okay.
But the phylloxera disease. This is in France, kill all the grapes and put new grapes, or the Cabernet Malbec, Cabernet Franc, but not put the Carmenere. But the Carmenere is a need rich or fertile soil.
Okay.
Es una planta un poco débil.
It's a weak plant.
Yeah, but
It
necessary.
it needs love, it needs attention, it needs the warmth of the Chilean sun.
Yeah. But the climate and the soil in Chile is perfect for the Carmenere.
If I'm not mistaken, Carmenere was, and you actually trained in France before you came to Conchitoro?
No, in Conchitoro, go to the Mouton Rothschild. It's a
First growth chateau in France.
3 weeks for the vintage.
Okay.
I look in two plants of Carmenere in a little mostrario de plantas, a little different clone or different plant.
Sure.
It's two plant of the Carmenere in a Bordeaux.
Oh wow!
But it's in
So
Chile.
not
it's
much
a huge,
left there.
It's a huge quantity of the Carmenere.
So in Chile, where it's coddled and it comes to life, Carmenere becomes something really special. And so with that French experience, you sort of bring it in where you bring in some of that experience there, and you bring a little bit of that to the glass that we have in front of us here today. This Carmenere now, what is the name of the vineyard and where does it come from with regard to region?
For Gran Reserva,
Yes.
it's a Peumo.
Peumo.
For Conchitoro, is the best location for Carmenere is a Peumo. This is a Rappel Valley. It's in a center. It's very close to the Rappel Lake.
Yes.
This is the name of the valley. But the soil is very deep, very fertile.
Okay.
But is the need of the Carmenere.
You know, we have a comment here. Amateur Wino was mentioning that as a fun fact, he understood that for many years, Carmenere in Chile was thought to be Merlot.
Merlot.
So do their grape leaves, or do they look similar cluster-wise?
No,
or?
these are very different. But
Okay.
in a vineyard is a one.
Now we know it's different, but
No, but it's
know.
very easy to difference. But in a past, one grape is a Merlot, one grape Carmenere. It's very close, but it's very different. Today in Chile, the Carmenere say Merlot Chileno.
So isn't it? It's unique though, because isn't Carmenere, while it's confused with Merlot, isn't it actually related to Cabernet?
yes.
Or it's
Actually, it's related by DNA.
Okay.
It's related to Cabernet Franc.
Right? Yes.
Yeah, that is closest in family. But we didn't know we had Carmenere in Chile until 1995.
95. It's not very long
recent,
ago.
It's recent history, you know.
Wow.
So we didn't know we had Carmenere, and because it was destroyed in France because of the phylloxera, but after that it was brought to Chile. We didn't know we had it.
Yeah.
And my Vine Spot is actually talking about a happy accident almost, if you think about it. Carmenere, a Bordeaux variety, thought to be extinct, gets rediscovered in Chile in the early 90s. We actually have another comment here. Fork me, spoon me. Love the heat on the Gran Reserva Carmenere. They love the heat. They love it. We're turning up the temperature here in the mouth. It's unique. You know, I think this is a good time to talk. We'll dive in a little bit about where it's from and how we make it. But while we were transitioning a minute ago, we kind of stumbled on something that was kind of unique. We sent out recipe pairings to all of you, and the first one I believe was a salmon tartare with a curry and like a pica lemon. We actually got to taste this with the Carmenere.
And it tasted really good.
And it tastes amazing. It's like breaking the rules. You know, the thing to understand is it's not about fish and white and all of the stuff you normally hear. The sauces, the spices, it makes a whole nother world. You know, and we have to thank Jason Mancibo and $20 Wine for actually making this tonight, coming here and preparing some of this dish. It's absolutely amazing. We can't wait to get our hands on the rest of it. But back to the Carmenere a little bit though. Being it's Peumo Vineyard, I know Conchi Toro actually has some other wines that are really well known from this Peumo vineyard. Actually, not that we need to dive into critical acclaim here, but I think the most well-known or the highest-rated Carmenere in all of Chile.
The highest-rated Carmenere comes from that area. It's called Peumo, that area.
Peumo.
And the wine is called Carmín de Peumo.
Carmen de
And for Carmenere, it's like in real estate, location. It's very important.
Yeah.
What is the U.S. retail price on that bottle?
On the Carmín de
Yes.
Peumo, $125,
$125. So, but this wine here, I think at some point someone was asking us this. I think we're around that, somewhere around that $14.99
$14.99
to
Depending on where
$16.99.
you are in the United States,
these-
it's $14.99, $16.99.
These are a little younger vines, though, from that same vineyard, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 10 or 15 years.
10 or 15 years. Winebrad SF was saying that the Carmenere is basically, here's what we have, gentlemen. In our glass, we have blueberry pie filling with white pepper
Yeah.
on top.
Yeah, it's a little touch of the white pepper. I think it's a more plum. Is it
Plum?
Yeah.
Dark plums,
Yeah,
red plums?
yeah. A little
Spice.
chocolate.
Spice?
Yes.
I think
yeah.
that's one of the things that I find unique about Carmenere is everybody talks about Cab, Merlot, Malbec. Carmenere is a secret weapon wine. You can take it to a party, you can take it to a dinner party, you
Yeah.
can take it to a pairing because, as we saw earlier, fish, meat, pork, game, it's all over the place.
It's very versatile.
But the very more important is the color.
But
the
it-
color
color?
is a very deep.
Very ink.
All the Carmenere is a very deep color.
Let us know what you think of the color. Obviously, he was saying, do you think now the Carmenere tends to have a bit of a deeper color than Malbec even?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was blended in France. It wasn't used as a straight grape in France because it was never ripe enough, and they use it only for blending purposes.
A little cooler in France.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cold color for the wine.
But essentially in Cachapoal, in the Peumo vineyard, we turn the heat up, I think, as someone
Oh, yeah.
mentioned earlier, and it shows in the glass.
Yeah.
Correct. Grand Reserva, actually, we just pointed out that with the threat of phylloxera largely non-existent in Chile for the most part, because you guys are protected. I think earlier,
We never got phylloxera.
Yeah.
and so you have some of the oldest, healthiest vines in all of Chile
Yeah.
as a whole, and even the younger vines, because of the Pacific and the Andes, the
You have to
Antarctic
think
and
of-
desert.
Yeah,
Arctic and essentially the desert, you're protected.
You have to think of Chile
It's
as
an
it's
island.
like an island.
Yeah.
Isolated. The desert, the glaciers in the south, the Andes, the Pacific Ocean. So phylloxera never made it to Chile.
Yeah.
Are the vines planted on original rootstock? The Carmenere vines that
It's
we have here?
It's a Franco. It's only Carmenere. I think it's
It's original rootstocks from.
yeah.
So
No, it's not rootstock.
I like
It's
that.
a-
Not
it's-
rootstock, it's original.
I like the analogy.
Plants.
If any of the bloggers, if you guys have ever had the thing where if I whispered something to Marcio and then he whispered something to Italo and then we whispered something, you lose the connection. I almost think of that with the grafting. It's almost like we're working with someone else's plumbing to feed the house, and these don't have that case. That's what really makes this wine a bit unique.
Ya, es special, but nosotros sentimos que cuando no hay separación, un pie y otro, el flujo es directo, entonces la planta es mucho más.
Yeah, when there's no grafting, Marcio's saying in Spanish that there's
so-
no missing in the connection. There's no, when you have the whole plant, there's nothing missing there.
You are plugged in.
By the
It's a
minute you
direct
graft,
connection.
you're missing something.
Yeah.
And that's obviously it's pretty apparent in the wines that we have here. So, as we taste, could you tell me what do you think? Some flavor profiles, some aromas. What do you notice actually in the wine?
It's a little green black pepper, a plum,
Plum.
a little touch of vanilla, and coffee.
I love the spice.
I almost don't want to move on to the
Yeah.
next wine.
Yeah, and most red wines from Chile, they do have that earthiness. That's like the fingerprint of Chile. Red
Yeah.
wines from Chile, they do have that characteristic, and Malbec had it, Carmenere has it, Cabernet Sauvignon. So.
Okay, well, I know we're getting a bit pushed for time, so I want to thank everybody for joining us for the Carmenere. Don't pour it out, put it on the side, come back and visit it. We're going to be tasting through some more wines here, and thank you for taking that trip south with us to Chile, and tasting the wines of Gran Reserva Seria Riberas with winemaker Marcio Ramirez and wine ambassador Italo Hoffrey here on Taste Live. Thank you,
Thank
gentlemen.
you.
Salud.
Salud.
Salud. Enjoy.